And we are back with the end of day post wave report with yours truly, the Algo Capitalist. And my bull panel with me tonight is our outstanding guests, my man Will Hong, HK Trader, and Crimerica, known as the extraordinaire in the trading room there. He is our moderator. All right, so we're going to dive into some charts today. We're going to look at a few things. You guys can give me your perspective on what you think, and then we'll go forward. Today was a kind of unremarkable day, in my opinion, but hey, we'll see what you guys have to say about it. All right, so this is a weekly chart of Ethereum. So this is last week's right here, last week's bar, and this is what this week is looking like so far right here. Okay, so we have a bearish pointer that we ended last week with, and now we're starting off with a narrow range inside type of a bar. I believe we're coming down this bearish pointer. It's going to lead the market down toward the trend line support. That's sub 3,000. What say you, gentlemen?
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Where's that trend line at? Does that say 2,000?
Right here. We're right around 2768.
Okay, 27. Okay, yeah, that sounds appropriate. It's a big pullback, but it's the weekly chart, so that's going to
Exactly.
play out over time.
And so far, nothing's happening this week. Typical of a Monday. All right, the next chart I wanted to show you guys, which was very interesting, is your Theta. Let's pull up some Theta now. Weekly on the Theta
Oh
is jacked up.
my.
So we're going to switch it to the daily. Here we go. Again, look at this massive bearish pointer from October the 4th, and look at where we are right now. Sliding down. We're still in that corrective phase. We're in a bear market. Now, back here, when you were in a bull market, the green zone, this correction started off, like, okay, it's going to be all right. And then it turned into a straight up bear market. And here we are locked in a bear market with increasing downward pressure, bearish momentum. And we finished Sunday coming into Monday with the crash alert sell signal. And that's exactly what we got. Downside production on the Theta. I say a $1.50 is on the table right now. What say you?
This is a disastrous altcoin. Let's put it this way. I think most of the people believe in their projects. They believe the stories, but the price action is working the other way around.
All I'm hearing is NFT this and NFT that.
Right. And then, well, back to the ETH chart. I think the ETH is not dead yet. So the altcoin season is still have one more leg to go. But for
Okay.
Theta, that's they're gone. They're in a full bear market, stage 4 now. So
yeah, it's looking whack. It's looking whack. I gotta
yeah,
admit it.
Yeah,
yes,
Theta has essentially no support under it down to like
Mm-hmm.
sub $1.
bingo.
Yeah,
Yep.
Like
looking nasty.
it went from 15 cents to $15 in relatively, what was it, a year?
Yeah,
Not
pretty
not
much.
even. Um, and the whole way there was no meaningful corrections at all. It just went straight up. So that's what it's doing now is it's finally getting a meaningful correction. And it's gonna probably looking back to sub $2, definitely.
Well, you are in a bear market, that is for sure, and you can't debate that one. Uh, I see the hand up there. What you wanted to see is right here. ADA Cardano. Let's look at this one. This is the weekly chart of ADA Cardano. Same thing. This is a bearish pointer from the week of October the 22nd. And as you can see, price did come down to it. And now we've taken it out just as you normally would have on a bearish pointer. This one is the beginning stages of the red zone. This thing is talking about dropping into the negative zone. What say you, Crimerica?
Yeah, it's punched through the cloud, and what is that? It looks to
Free
me like it's
fall.
below the cloud right now,
Yes,
and
it's
so
free
it has
fall.
it has no support underneath it, even on the weekly. So yeah, it's not looking good for ADA.
And you want to know something else? Just in case you guys had something positive to say, bear pointer from the weekly of February the 26th.
Oh my, where does that go down to?
This thing goes all the way down to 48 cents.
Oof.
Ouch.
Where is the story of the ETH 2.0, right? I mean, Cardano is supposed to be, play that role.
I know.
It seems like, the price action say the otherwise.
Yeah. See, this is what we're talking about this morning. Trade what you see. Trade what the market's giving you, not what you think, because this is nasty. Nasty. All right, moving right along. Let's add into the mix a little bit of forex. Here's your Australian dollar. And so far on the weekly, we got an inside bar, but we do have a bearish pointer that we ended the week with last week that gave us an actual rally alert buy signal. And so far, we're not getting any upside production. I don't know if this will hit. I have to be patient and see. But at some point, this bearish pointer is going to come a calling. So we may make it up to the bottom of the Kumo cloud, which coincides with the overhead trendline resistance around the let's call it 73.50. So we may make it back up to 73.50, but I can't ignore the bearish pointer, ladies and gentlemen. It's right there for you, dangling. And this marks a key support area too. Seems like 7,000 is like that psychological support. So just something to think about on that one. Next up is the Canadian dollar. Now it should be noted too that gold and on the last chart is not really helping the scenario. Here's Canadian dollar. Oil is not helping this one either. But you still have the bulls in control. You have the rally alert buy signal from the week of November the 5th, and we've got nothing but steady upside production. We ended the week here, on a rather mute note, but as you can see here, the bulls are liking this. You got this incredibly wide Kumo cloud. It goes from like 131 down to like 123. So that's a very, very wide sideways consolidating type of a cloud. That means the market can whip up about 700 pips either direction and still be in a sideways market. That's crazy. But you are in the green zone. You got that going for you. So I think we may see some more upside production there. But of course, people want to know, well, you mentioned oil. What's going on with oil? Well, here we are on the crude oil. So we ended the week last week with a rally alert buy signal. So far, we got no upside production, and we are still in a corrective phase. I believe that we'll probably we'll drift here a little sideways to slightly lower maybe. If we do get a little wind underneath of it, I think the market may be able to get back up to about 75 to 77-ish. Before the bears come in and knock it back down again. So that's what oil is looking like. And if you take a look at gold on the weekly, as you can see here, that overhead trend line resistance at 1,800 is a true resistance. Even here where we spiked above it, you didn't close above it. You closed below it. Here you spiked up to touch it. So far this week, we're popping up to touch it as well. But nothing really happening. You do have a rally alert buy signal coming into this week with a bullish pointer, but the fact that you're under the Kumo cloud and the overhead trend line resistance is that 1,800 psychological barrier. It's going to take a lot to get enough bullish energy to make this thing pop up. But right now, it does have everything it needs for support to rally.
Well,
but then here's the thing.
Here's the wild card, Dex. Since the FOMC is tomorrow and Wednesday, people probably sidestepping the metals trade.
I was thinking that too, because I think the chart is bearing us out. This bar right here is from the week of June the 18th, and as you can see, for the majority of the year, we've stayed inside this consolidation bar, which is also within inside the Kumo cloud. Then here you have a spike bar down with a massive bearish pointer, which I think is going to attract price here in the near term, to be more precise. But yeah, you got a good point with the FOMC going on this week. And here is, I want to say, where did I put it? Silver. Here we go. Here's silver. All right, silver is a lot weaker than the gold, as you can see. It's below the Kumo cloud, below the trend line, and it's already teeter-tottering on the edge of falling off the cliff. And I don't see any support until you get down to around 12. Ouch. That's a $10 drop potential coming in silver. What say you?
Well, hey, if there is a liquidity, crunch, I think that would happen for the derivative price. But for the physical price, I don't think it's gonna move anyway. It's gonna create some noise, for the silver squeeze. What I can say is that play some hedges. I mean, if it's go down $10, okay, but there's a possibility. I still think the bottom is so close to it. So
Right.
hopefully there's a rally. Okay, so that would match with with the physical price.
Right. I feel that. I feel you with that. Okay. What about you, Comerica? Any hope for silver? Or are we going to stay in this consolidation bar from the week of September the 25th of 2020?
I think we stay in that bar for the near term. I think it's going to run up to try and test that overhead resistance and maybe even break through there and test the bottom of the cloud. But I agree with what Will said about the physical and the paper markets splitting. Ever since, what was it, March of 2020, it's basically been two different markets. You go into try and get some physical silver, you're paying for Silver Eagle specifically, you're paying a $10-15 premium.
Wow.
Just to get the physical metal in your hand.
So they're saying so basically the physical market likes this bullish pointer from the week of February the 5th of 2021, where we have not attracted price back there yet. But we've been staying in this bar here from the week of September 25th of last year. So basically, silver has been sideways for over a year now. That is incredible.
Well, here's the thing: the First Majestic CEO came out already said the price discovery of silver and gold is gone. So he's one of the ones saying it. Okay, and for the retail crowds wants to buy the metals, they have a tough time finding them.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
So again, it's like, all right, derivative has one market, and the physical, it could be at 35, it could be at 40. It's come to a point, someday, those big guys will realize, oh shoot, they better stay out of the comics. It did happen. It did happen in history. So back in the 60s, when the London gold pool was, breaking down, sooner or later, just gonna go to the Far East to get a quote of the precious metals.
Yeah, it's looking crazy. It is looking like
it's an insane market.
To say the least, my brother, to say the least. All right, so wrapping things up, let's end with the mighty Bitcoin. Here we go. Here's the weekly on the Bitcoin futures. So we ended the week last week with a new leg down. So far this week, we've taken out last week's low and looking to be headed lower. Trendline support is sub 45,000. And that's going to come in around, I want to say, let's call it what? 43? No, we'll call it 44. Let's say 44,295. So 44,295 is the top of the Kumo cloud and the trend line support right now for your Bitcoin futures. That is a pretty scary tone to take. Now, your support is way down here. You got a little support, which coincides with the bottom of the Kumo cloud, and that's at 35,000. Remember the old 35,000, 30 to 35,000 resistance zone? which is now acting as a key support zone. So yeah, you're still in a corrective zone. You have not come out of this corrective zone. If we do get a rally from somewhere, somehow, it only puts you back to about 55. Scary chart, but it is what it is, folks. Any last word on Bitcoin or these altcoins? What do you think is going to come from the FOMC this week, factoring into the equation their whole take on interest rates?
I'm thinking that Bitcoin's probably going to catch a bid once it hits that trend line. I'm thinking it'll probably play out similar to the last time it approached this weekly trend line. We might lose it for a little bit, but regain it shortly after. Plus, the Kumo cloud's pretty thick right there too. It seems like it's going to give a little bit of support. And with the FOMC, I think it's more of the same. More the same. They might talk about tapering, but they're not going to do anything like that. They can't afford to.
Nah, I agree with you on that one. So I think we just end the year on a soft note for the most part. And then I think the first quarter of next year, I think that's when the gloves come off, and I think the markets are going to get punched around really bad. So with that being said, we appreciate you guys, helping me out with this bull panel. I love these talks that we have, and you know where to go if you want to get these reports in your hands, ladies and gentlemen. PulseWaveTrading.com. Take advantage of our super Christmas specials that we're running. And with that, remember now, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give not them back. And we are out, gentlemen. Thank you very much. See you guys in the trading room. Peace.